And hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Ciara, and this is The Bottom Line. On today's show, The Sound of Music. No, not the movie. We're going to have a listen to several musical groups currently playing in the Hampton Roads area. Some of it's jazz, some of it's rhythm and blues. Just suffice it to say, we have a wide range of talent that's coming up for you. The music and the people behind the sound up next on The Bottom Line.
I want a family too. Want you, lady, to know that I do. To give you my precious blood.
Here in Hampton Roads, and with me are two gentlemen who certainly typify that statement, I think. They are of the group Sesil and Lujon, and there's a mixture here, one from Hampton Roads, one from Chicago, one who is absent, who is also from Chicago. But first, I'd like to welcome you to The Bottom Line. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Hopefully, one of these days, we can say, we knew them when. How about that? Well, first, I'd like to introduce Sesil Jenkins. And you are from Hampton Roads, I understand. And Delecta Johnson from Chicago.
Right.
And who is the missing piece of the group? I should ask you, Delecta.
Okay, that would be Kenneth Lewis. And right now he's in Los Angeles taking care of some business, but he should be back sometime this evening.
Well, I should say something about the group of Sesil and Lujon. That is, you already have a video, and you have an album. And usually at this stage of the game, the group really starts getting excited. I understand it's already been played here locally on FM 103.
Yes, Don Allen was the first local personality, or jock, you would say, that to release our single, which we're very thankful to you, Don. Great gentleman.
In fact, the whole staff
Yeah,
there.
the whole staff, actually.
You know, Caesar Gooding, everybody there.
So how difficult is it to get airplay for an album once it's been pressed?
Well, you know, there's so much music out there, you know, and I wouldn't want to be in their position, honestly speaking, mainly because, you know, you never know who has the best talent, what the people want to hear, you know, and being a jock over the air, you're playing for millions of people out there, and you have to please those people, you know, and you have all these albums here, and this entertainer comes, he wants to be played, and you're saying, well, where do I go from here? So, you know, it's a very difficult thing. It's nothing easy about the business.
So you had to knock on a lot of doors, in other words.
An awful lot of doors.
Well, I don't envy you that task. Well, Delecta, tell me something. How did the group actually form? We're going to have to ask you that question, first of all, because here you are from Hampton Roads, and you're from Chicago, and I'm wondering, how did the guys get together?
Well, it's a bizarre story. Basically, we were in Los Angeles at the time, myself and Ken, rehearsing with another group at the time, and Sesil at the time was selling cable TV, and he happens to ring the doorbell up. We're rehearsing, we open the door. He said, hi, I want to sell you guys some cable TV. And at the time, we was going to say, well, we're rehearsing right now, so we don't have time for it. But it just so happened Ken looked at his jacket. He had a treble clef on there, so he said, you into music? Yeah. Then Sesil looks in, and he sees a whole band in the living room rehearsing, you know, so we just basically hooked up from there.
And you got together from there. Well, that's a fantastic story, especially since you had already turned him away. You didn't want to sell any cable TV, but you had some musical background before then, right, Sesil? I understand you're a protege of Marvin Gaye, or
Yes, yes. The legendary Marvin Gaye gave me the opportunity to get on the professional end of the business, even though I've always thought I was a professional barber.
Right.
You know? But when I got to that status, it showed me that there was another level to be conquered. And yeah, that was actually performing with them. They wouldn't have let me in the door if I hadn't told them I was a protege of Marvin.
So it certainly did open a few doors for you, at least.
Definitely.
Well, you know what? I think now is a good time for, I guess, to let our audience take a look at what you actually do. Why don't we take a sneak peek of the new video by Sesil and Lujon.
People walking around, don't know which way to go. Oh, no. If they look inside themselves, they would know. You gotta get it to you, for it's the best thing to do. There's no time else to say, you gotta be on your way.
Basically, deal with people like Nigel Silvers, who married to Leon Silvers of the group Dynasty, you know, myself personally, I play with people like Billy Preston and Philip Ingram, James Ingram, that sort of thing.
But I guess it's always more special when you can get your own group and stop being the opening act for other people and really come into your own.
Of course, we're looking forward to that. You know, we have an abundance amount of talent that we want to release, and we're basically a band that wants to please the public. In other words, we're a people's entertainer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about watching them from that stage and looking at their face just glow because you're looking at them.
Oh,
you know,
that must be such a turn on.
You know, there's a surge that is unexplainable.
Oh, especially when you have masses of adoring people out there looking at you. Now, who pressed your album, and how come you're having a problem with distributing it and getting people to listen to it over here on the East Coast, since you all are pretty well known on the West Coast?
Well, you know, as it is in the industry, there's so many albums coming in constantly.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? So basically it's about promotion, you know, and we are looking for some people who maybe invest into some promotion in the promotional area.
Because it takes money to promote.
It does. But Macola Records does the distribution on the album. The same people that distributed Rumors. So we're hoping with the success that they had with Rumors, we could have the same type of success with Sesil and Lujon. We have a message in our music. It's positive, it's love, and hopefully the people will be able to comprehend with one another, and we can get promotion on that level.
Well, let me ask you this, Delecta. What makes your music different than what's already out there? Because, as we talked about earlier, there are so many groups out there and so many talented people.
Well, I think that we have a message to spread, and you can feel the message in our music. You know, we're not out here talking about necessarily the party thing or the other things that other entertainers basically talk about. You know, we're trying to spread a message to the children, you know, something for them to hear that they'll be able to hear on the radio. You know, when they sing the words to our song, it'll be something that has meaning to it and substance. And
well, I understand that you all are not going to sit idly by waiting for the album to take off. You do have a couple of gigs coming up, I understand?
Yes.
Where at?
Well, we're going to perform locally here at a couple of clubs. There'll only be 2 clubs here that we perform at. One will be Raphael's, and the other will be the Big Apple. And we had the pleasure of meeting with Sesil Gooding. Sesil party time.
Party
Yes,
all the time. 8 nights a week, 8 days a week.
And he helped us out with that. And but of course we do have other gigs that we're going to do here on the East Coast before we return to the West Coast.
Okay, well, much continued success to the both of you, and it certainly is a pleasure to have met you, and hopefully I can say one of these days I knew them when you're busting those charts out there. Good luck to you both.
Definitely.
Thank you. We feel that way about you, Barbara.
Oh, well, thank you.
We want to give you this album.
Oh, well, it is.
Sesil and Lujon, and from the album Be For Real.
Oh.
And the single that's been released so far is I Don't Want to Go.
Oh,
the
really?
flip side, Be Yourself, that's the next one in tune.
Oh, that's lovely. I Don't Want to Go Either, the title of the tune. But we're wrapping up right now. We'll be back with more of The Bottom Line and much more music. Stay with us right after this. Well, certainly that's sort of like leaving yourself open for the big shot.
Somewhat, but you'd be surprised. As a program director, I don't always hear a hit record. Some of my other guys on the air, like Caesar Gooding, my afternoon guy Lenny, we'll have music meetings where we will listen to maybe 50 or 100 pieces of new product every week, and I'm say, what do you think of this, or what do you think of this? Like a group like Quiet Fire. If he brought me a new piece of product, okay, I wouldn't maybe be the only person to listen to it. I let my other DJs listen to it besides myself, and then we would decide, does this record really fit into our format at FM 103? And we take it from there.
Well, what about Quiet Fire? Certainly. I
haven't heard them, so I really don't know. I'm very anxious to hear the group, especially because you're local. You were talking earlier with Sesil and Lujon, and Sesil is a fantastic artist, and we're getting quite a bit of response from his record right now. But local artists that have good sounds and they're recognizable to the public, we definitely want to give them some airplay.